which I turn on right now. And so we'll post it on the CTD website along with the slide deck today if you need to revisit anything, or if there was someone that wasn't available, feel free to pass it on to them. We're going to hold any questions until the end of our presentation. We're just going to have a quick presentation to kind of get everybody oriented and then have more of a discussion and Q&A. So we'll hold questions until the end, although you can feel free to put things as they occur to you in the chat, and we can round up on that when we get done with the presentation. At the end, we also just welcome you to raise your hand, and I can call on folks to unmute and just ask questions directly. We'd love it to be kind of a conversation. So that is great as well. Please do keep yourself muted if you're not speaking, so we can keep down the background noise. Are there any questions before we get started? We all pretty much know the drill here, but free to put questions anytime in the chat. I'll be monitoring that as we go through, so let us know. Okay. Well, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan Williams, who is going to get us started here. Ryan?
Sure. Thanks, Jan. I'll start off by apologizing if you hear a whir in the background. I'm in smoky Wenatchee, so I have a air filter going at full blast. So sorry if it's got a little whir. Anyway, so I just wanted to, I'm the co-chair of with Jan of the CTD, as well as the executive director of Cascadia Conservation District, Ryan Williams, I guess. I don't know if he said that initially. Yeah, so we're just going to go through and kind of talk about a few things about the CTD, the work we've been doing, and just really solicit your feedback. I also want to echo Jan's comments about the feedback you provide really drives our work, and the point of the CTD is to provide resources for staff of conservation districts for technical, so they have technical knowledge and can be the best they can be. So today's talk, we're going to just do, welcome. Going to do the who, what, and why of us, of the Center for Technical Development. We're going to do a little bit of looking to the future about what's coming up, and then we'll kind of end with a Q&A session and allow for folks to ask whatever questions or provide feedback or whatever comes to your mind about our work that we do. So to start off, the purpose of the Center for Technical Development is to ensure that conservation districts and their employees have equal access to the proper professional development opportunities to advance technical expertise and the support to consistently plan and implement their diverse conservation programs unique to the clientele, available resources, and geographical influences of the region. That's just a long way to say we're trying to provide as much opportunities for you to learn and grow your professional skills and really drive your programs locally. We do this for many different ways, and we'll kind of talk through all of that, how we can help provide that support to you as employees. We're a partnership. There's a lot of partners, granted, specifically because there's 45 conservation districts. They're all partners in this, but we also work with kind of our main folks, including the Conservation Commission, the Association of District Employees, WACD, and NRCS. We also try to work with other key agencies that might influence some of our technical side, as we have opportunities and it's appropriate. So we have a core leadership team. There's 6 of us right now. There's myself and Jan. There's also Bobby Lindemolder from Snohomish CD, Stephanie, who does the farm certification, Stephanie Harper from Palouse CD, who does the mentorship program. And then Kari Kwas from Snohomish CD, who's helping with training support, and then Kelsey Motet from Whidbey Island CTD does outreach. We also have other folks involved in the work we do, and we're more than we're welcome anybody who wants to participate. And a lot of what they're doing is with this networking forums, which we'll talk about in a minute. But we also have Shauna Joy, who's our from the Conservation Commission, who's really our liaison and kind of our advisor in a lot of this work. We have people listed, and there's probably more. And we're always looking for folks who are interested in this type of work, especially East Side folks who can help provide some insight that's kind of specific to kind of drier side districts. So we have a whole bunch of services we provide. We really kind of have grouped it all into a community, to 4 different kind of categories: community, training, certification, and then just general resources for people. We're gonna really talk through each one of these about some of the work we're doing, but we're really see it as a pathway for continuing development of your professional skill set. And we're trying to provide as many opportunities as we can for you to engage and really build that network of expertise and also employees. A lot of cases, you may be the only one in your district doing this job, but there's 45 other districts so there might be 45 other people doing the job. They just are across the boundary from you. So that's one of our goals, is to try to bring people together and really share knowledge. And so the first way we do this is through trying to create community, trying to create a forum or create a way for networking and mentoring and that kind of thing. And so we've really this last year or two, we've really focused some of our efforts on networking forums. We felt that we used to network a little bit more when we could meet in person, and so creating that online space for for folks to get together and really talk through common issues, ask questions, learn under some specific topics that are common across a lot of districts. So right now we have 5 active forums. We have cover crop, we have dairy, we have farm, the plant sales, and riparian. We're always and those are led by some of those folks at other districts who have an interest and desire to kind of facilitate the conversations, and anybody can come ask questions, provide advice. That's the whole point, is to get people together and really just talk about the challenges and things you've learned and ways to move forward, and kind of just help make those connections beyond just our once a year wait opportunity or the kind of the occasional meetings that we may have cross districts. We're also, I think we're always open to ideas for other topics, other forums. We really need people who are interested in really working on it and really taking the lead. They're about an hour to 2 every 3 months or so. It tends to be quarterly, but they could also be more. It just depends on what the group really wants to do. So another program we have kicked off a bit is the mentoring program, which is a little bit more formal. So the networking forum can be an opportunity for mentorship, but having a little bit more trained in a more formal interaction to transfer knowledge from more experienced staff to less experienced, especially when you don't necessarily have that experienced staff person in your district. So the idea would be, we have an expert in dairy planning who works in one district, and you have a new dairy planner comes online in another district. We really need to connect them and really get them talking and learning. And so we kind of kicked it off in June with a mentoring effective mentoring webinar that was put on by Ray Ledgerwood. And we recorded that, and it's on the CTD website under the mentorship section. So a lot of the stuff you can find on the website. I guess I'll keep mentioning that. You'll see a lot of links. That's why we're also going to put it on the website, but I would explore our website as a resource. And then we're also working on pulling together just kind of like some resources such as, kind of a tips and tricks kind of scenario for mentorship, so that, you can really learn or have a productive mentoring relationship, I guess that's the way to put it. We also have kind of similar to the networking forums, it's a little more formal. We have a leadership management learning community. We've been hosting for about a year now, just over a year now. That's a partnership between kind of the Wade Commission, WACD, and CTD. And the point of that one is really folks who are interested in learning about management or leadership, opportunities, or kind of in a district's focused, I guess, light, that we can. It's just a place you can go and learn more. And so that's every second Wednesday of every month, and we try to have a few months of the topics kind of out in front, so you can really plan if you really want to attend those sessions. But really, kind of to wrap it up about community, is we're really trying to just bring people together and continue conversations that maybe get started at, say, a regional meeting or something, and really kind of build upon that network of districts, since we're so far spread out across the state. The next part of what we do is really our kind of our bread and butter, I guess, is training. You'll see this is how you'll likely interact with us the most. What we've done is we've tried to put together a pathway for you to develop a training plan. So we have a training template. We'll have a link a little bit later for that, but we'll develop the training template so you can help you build your professional growth and be able to present that to your supervisor or your board or whatever, whoever's making those training decisions. The idea being, we're trying to we really want to provide that framework for you to help customize your training plan. We'll also help you get signed up in AgLearn, and then also help you through some of these processes. A lot of what we do is try to interface with NRCS on some of their main cornerstone trainings that's required to get certified by NRCS. So right now we have a few upcoming in the works that we know of. So there's the Working Effectively with American Indians, that it was originally going to be about, I think, around this time, but they're going to postpone it a few months. So look for that if you need that Working Effectively training. And then we're trying to get another round of conservation planner training, since there's more people who need it than there were spots this last time. And another way we kind of interact with NRCS for training is we mirror their training needs inventory. So you may have seen this come across your email. So the main way we get seats for trainings at NRCS is by just demonstrating the need. And so through that, we conduct training needs inventory and provide that to aggregated to the NRCS training committees, and that way the Employee Development Committee, so that we can show that, hey, we have 30 people who need conservation planner training. We didn't have great participation in it this year. I think possibly because it's not really known what the point of it is, and we're trying to get the word out a little more, a lot more. And so if you haven't completed it, it's not too late. There's still a link, you can still complete it. And so, or if you know somebody who hasn't, remind them to do it. Because that was really the key, and really what drives how many seats we have in these trainings. So if we don't show a lot of need, they don't open up or opt for a second Working Effectively course or whatever. But so we're trying to provide those opportunities and really get you connected. And when you fill out the training needs inventory, it also puts you in the queue, so that when an opportunity comes up, you'll get an direct email from Jan saying, hey, we now have this course, do you still need to do it? And so there's a lot of opportunity there, and that's where that training needs inventory really comes in for us. The other thing that's kind of somewhat new is NRCS really wants us to do the level 1 conservation planner. Wants anybody to get into the part 2 and 3, you have to have that done. It is entirely online. It takes about 20 hours to complete, on self-paced and so on. So just as if you're thinking about or think you need this, just make sure you have your level 1 conservation planner completed in AgLearn, or they'll not allow you to attend. So, but we can help you get through that. That's the key thing for us is Jan we can help you get through a lot of this and make sure things are looking good in the AgLearn. So on certification, I guess. So another element of work we do is where we have the certification program, and it's a little bit to think about it as a additive component. So everybody who wants to be a planner and wants to be certified must go through the NRCS General Core Conservation Planning component. What the CTD has done is developed a additive program to really certify you as a specialist in a certain area. So conservation planner is really a generalist. You know, you do whatever, and then you're supposed to really learn about the different areas, about what's important for your district, and really learn more about the work you're doing and build that skill set. And so we're trying to offer that additional certification and pathway for you to recognize your work as an expert in the field or a specialist. And so we're going to do an in-depth webinar about certification again in early 2023, so early next year. So keep an eye for that if you're interested. You know, we can, there's some great training opportunities to get you to this additional certification. In addition, we're also still trying to gather people who are interested in participating in developing a forestry planner certification, which is kind of the next need we see that's been communicated to us for a while now. But right now we have riparian, farm, and dairy. A little bit more about certification. So again, we have a training plan template, which includes that pathway to help you really track some of that yourself. There's also room to add on other things. We have a database that also will let you track some of that stuff for continuing education. It also is something that's important for bringing in for us to kind of know what expertise we have in the state. It is used to actually look up who, where our expertise is and who might be able to help folks who need that help. And then AgLearn also does some tracking. It's my experience is it's not as simple. It's not that simple, I guess, to really see that, but it is in there, and we do have some tutorials to help you with that. But with certification, it's really taking you from the basic planner to that specialist, and we've developed a pathway, and we have some documents on the website that helps you see that pathway, including including the courses that we really recommend to become an expert in dairy or riparian or farm. And so the last kind of stop on our pathway is resources. So a lot of the work we have, a lot of things we have available. We have a lot of resources on our website. You've been seeing links as we go, but we've got a whole section on new employees. So if you're new and want to learn more, there's presentations on the work of like, what it means to be a new employee, what it means to what you signed up for when you became a district employee, in terms of kind of how the whole system works. There's things like signing the training plan and how to sign up for the database and how to get into AgLearn. all of that kind of stuff. And there's going to be some more resources coming in the next, I don't soon, I guess I'll say soon. And so we also have that, so there's the database in there, the training plan template, talked about that. There's a place to sign up for our newsletter. So we send out a newsletter every month with upcoming training opportunities, as well as, it'll include maybe some other information that'll be useful, announcements about, the training needs inventory and that kind of stuff. And so let's keep an eye out for that. It comes out monthly. We also put all of our trainings that can be recorded, we record and put on the website. So if you miss one, you could probably find it under the training library. They're just recordings of everything. This will be there as well, this talk today. And the last thing about resources is, if you just have a question about how to do something in terms of, AgLearn or just training in general, you can reach out to us and we'll try to help you as best we can, or get you connected with the right people. We're trying, we really, if you're having problems with AgLearn, we have some special access that we can help maybe fix some problems. I won't guarantee we can fix some of the more background NRCS administrative side, but we can look at and see where things are and help get you connected with the right people. Or you just, want to learn about what opportunities, if you have ideas about things you want us to see provide training on, please reach out. That's really how we know what, besides our own personal experiences, how we know what people need in terms of training opportunities. So coming up, so I talked about the certification webinar. We haven't set a date yet, but we're going to go for early 2023, probably through the winter of 2023. We're still trying to recruit people interested in participating in the forestry planner certification development. We'll have more additional mentoring resources will become available, new employee resources. And then as we keep doing CTD, training webinars, you'll see more of those coming. We try to do those on a regular basis, bringing on some topics that are timely for, for funding opportunities, or just people presenting on programs that they're working on or have worked on, to really share that information. So the last thing for the presentation, and then we can go into questions and answers, is we do have a survey out there. It's on the website, but you could also just scan the QR code right now if you want. We're really looking for feedback on our programs. We're trying to provide the feedback either through this, or if you want to take some time and think, you can also share through this feedback or send us an email, whatever works best for you. But yeah, so I guess at this point, I wanted to open it up for questions for anything we would, any thoughts for what might have come through.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. I don't see anything in the chat right now, but please do feel free to put things in the chat, or just raise your hand and we can just call on you and let you just speak directly. And also just invite any of the other leadership team members to comment or add anything if they would like to. I'm sure we covered everything here. Thanks, Kelsey, for putting that survey link in the chat as well. That link is there. If that's
Absolutely. Yeah, if anybody has questions specifically about the certification process and going through that, either with NRCS and CTD, I recently went through that myself personally and professionally, and have, a lot of experience with that. Happy to share that experience. And we're always hoping to hear what you need from us. So I really encourage you guys to fill that brief survey. It's literally 3 minutes, timed myself doing it actually, just to give us feedback with how we can best serve you. And don't be afraid to put yourself on camera and unmute yourself. I guess I would add, while folks are maybe thinking of some questions, that overall, the Center for Technical Development, you may think it's primarily focused for planner staff, but it isn't. Jan especially, and our core team here work closely with the partners like Wade and WACD and NRCS to bring in speakers and resources outside of that Wade conference timeframe each year, on skills and topics that may be relevant to positions outside the planning realm. Maybe Jan, you could talk a bit about, like, last year when we had Kathy Angel provide that webinar training on how to develop an engaging virtual presentation. We also, I believe, are supporting some of the work around contracting and procurement in the background. We're kind of supporting some of that. So some of the trainings that you see, it's whether we're the one directly offering it or not, we're likely having some involvement in the background with coordinating those different skills and trainings that are out there. So the more you tell us what you need, the more we can bring that to you. I don't know if there's other recent trainings and recordings that would be worth sharing for folks to be aware of.
Yeah, thank you, Kelsey. That's a good point. We definitely push that training needs inventory in the TNI, and that is the mechanism for NRCS trainings for sure for folks on the certification, planner certification track. But definitely, we want to offer a variety of trainings that are relevant for whatever your position is. So please do let us know, especially if it's outside of the sort of certification path trainings. Those are pretty well on our radar, but if there's anything else that you would like to see, or during COVID, when we were just really webinar heavy, we did a lot of sharing webinars and hearing about other district programs and all of that. We've kind of backed off of that a little bit because I think everyone is a little bit maybe webinared out, but we are always open to that kind of thing again. So please do let us know if you have something you want to share, you think it would be of interest to other folks. If there's just a topic that you would like to hear about, but you're not sure who's doing it across the state, let us know and we can try to pull that together, because if you're curious about it, likely others are too. So definitely need that input and feedback from you all to make sure that we are giving you the right resources and connecting the right dots there. So yeah, absolutely.
I will say too, as someone who has gone through and been in different positions at my conservation district, I started off as the marketing, education, and outreach coordinator, and helped run our plant sale for many years before transitioning into the planner realm here. Our networking forum on the plant sale is really valuable, especially if you're a new staff member involved in plant sale in any way. I believe Kari, maybe you could talk about that, since you and Ashley Smithers down at Clark CD have been coordinating that. But my new staff who are helping run the plant sale now have found that really valuable. And a lot of the resources during these networking forums that are developed, each networking forum is a little bit different because it's based on who's leading it and who's in the group and what they want to take away from that interaction. But like plant sale, for example, had developed some like resources in the background, I believe, some like contact sheets for each other and like where do they use source plants. And so a lot of those like logistics of doing the work that you do get flushed out in these networking forums too, in a more informal way, where you can just ask questions and have folks who said, oh yeah, I've done that a million times, you should try it this way. Don't worry, don't waste time trying to reinvent the wheel. So definitely take advantage if you've not had a chance to attend one of those networking forums to just check it out and have your questions be asked.
I would simply add to that if there are topics that are not covered by the current forums, all it takes is somebody that knows how to use Zoom, which can be me or somebody else on the CTD team, and then the topic host. But the groups themselves are not, you're not there, we're not talking at you. That's not what we want to do. We actually want those discussions to occur so people can ask questions of each other, and even specifically for the plant sale, because I sit on that one. But how does it work at a smaller conservation district as opposed to a larger conservation district? So maybe even taking the forum and breaking it out as needed so the right people are talking to each other. So it's a valuable hour of your time. But if anybody has ideas, please put them in the chat about other topics that maybe Ryan, if you go back to that slide where the forums are listed, then if there's something that's not covered right now, then we can add that in and look at when that might be good. I mean, I'm not seeing anything that's outreach focused on there, and that's where I sit. I know that there's the CMP, whatever that is, group that is also out there, but could there be something done by the Center for Technical Development that could help you out? So please put those in the chat. That would be great.
I guess I'll pitch a question to all of you as attendees who are still on the call with us right now. What drew you to come to this presentation today? Maybe that can help also to bring on some questions. Maybe you were just curious about what we do, but maybe you have a particular kind of itch you need to scratch and want to share that. Oh, great, Lorna. Anything for admin office managers? Jan, do you want to talk about kind of the contracting procurement kind of conversations we've been having? And also, Lorna, please share with us your needs in that survey and on the chat too. We'd like to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely we are in development, still in development, so I don't have any kind of dates for you at the moment, but working with MRSC to hopefully develop a kind of conservation district specific training on contracting and procurement. And that's been something that was brought forward to us as a need. And so we're trying to pull that together. I would say that is, an area of admin and office managers is an area that we have not delved very deeply into. So definitely love to hear ideas and what would be useful for you on training in that standpoint. Wade has the track each year, but above and beyond that, we're happy to help throughout the year continue that training. But archiving, yeah. Records management is always definitely a topic. That's good. Thank you.
And the cool thing about it is, it doesn't hurt for us to reach out to folks who might be more specialized in a particular topic like this. Like the Washington State Archives has, I'm sure you're aware of this, Lorna, there several grants that they offer to different entities for records keeping and stuff, but that's like a potential partnership that we can foster by making the right points of contact, and then somebody from there could potentially provide some training on that for folks. So I appreciate you mentioning that. Any other questions y'all have? What drew you here today? What keeps you sitting here with us still? Don't be shy. I will say, if you are debating about attending a specific training series or pursuing certification with both NRCS and the CTD, from personal experience, I've found that it's been super valuable. Once you get through a little bit of the administrative hurdle of getting yourself set up in the AgLearn system, then there's a lot of doors that open up in terms of learning from others. I've met a lot of folks with different levels of expertise that both generalized and specialized and different generations, different agency partners, in particular, the Conservation Planning Part 2 course few years back when I attended it, when it was in person, which I believe, Jan, it's kind of now a hybridized version. It's in person, but it's also, there's some online classroom learning. But when I took that, it was fabulous to meet folks from different areas of the state and different NRCS field offices, as well as other CDs. I even met folks in the nonprofit sector who were attending outside of the state even. So these bring together professionals that really, as a result, I've kept those relationships going, and several folks who've passed on some wisdom before they retired. It's been really valuable pursuing that path of certification, because it helps me feel more confident in using a lot of the different technical tools that really make our work unique as conservation district staff. So I highly encourage you, if you're on the fence, consider at least getting a training plan set up. It helps keep things organized.
Mark
Mark.
says that he's appreciated the discussions on the farm forum and the cover crop forum, but if more people would participate, it could be even better. I would encourage people that receive the CTD newsletter to share that out with their friends, or just invite people to those forums as much as possible. Because again, the cross-pollination of people talking about their experience, or maybe they've already done it, so we don't all have to recreate the wheel, is so very helpful. But we will keep pushing it out. We're trying to, it's tricky with the Gov Delivery to have a flashy newsletter, but we're trying to make it attractive and add more stuff to it. So if there's ideas of even simple topics we could put in what we're sending out to you, that would be great. But remembering to forward it on to your own team and staff in case they don't get it. I know that we all get a dearth of emails that come in. So sharing those individual reach outs and invitations are really important. Great comment, thanks. And Bobby says the forums for me are also far best for networking. Yeah, absolutely. It's how we meet folks, for sure. Build it on the relationship to make it wait, and then keep it going throughout the rest of the year.
I will add to that, Kari, from the network standpoint, or the forums, I think they've been really invaluable, especially for new staff. I've had quite a few of new staffers joining in on the forums, and it's a way for them to link up to other staff, but really ask even some of the most basic questions of planning and how to maneuver district world and that kind of thing. And I think it's been really valuable to them, and it's super valuable for us to be able to link in with those new planners, where we can provide some additional mentorship along their way, especially at the smaller districts that may be really limited with staffing. So highly encourage the forums.
Thank you. Deanna put a comment in there that she had been locked out of AgLearn, as many of us were this year. There was a snafu way back in January, and it has taken quite a lot of time and effort to get us back in. And I will just say, if you're not back in, let me know for sure, because it's high time you were. So I can help with that a little bit. I can't directly get you back in, but I can definitely try to make those connections and keep tabs on it with you, so we can get you access again. So that's always, as Kelsey said, always a bit of a hurdle to get in and to stay in sometimes, but it is worth it, I think. I mean, that is where we can get these certifications done and get some of those prerequisites that are required for continuing training on the NRCS side. So definitely want to keep on that, even though it's a bit of a pain, but I can help you with that. So always reach out if you're having trouble, and I can kind of help tag team that with you. And just getting signed up in general. Last year, NRCS made a new document, which is posted on the CTD website, that explains how to begin the process to get into AgLearn in the first place. So there are a few steps. You do have to reach out to NRCS staff to get it done. You can't do it all by yourself. So make sure you're looking at that document and following the steps there. Things get complicated quick when we go rogue in AgLearn. So try to stay on the path there, and definitely ask if you have questions, because you are not the only one that has those questions. I promise you. So don't feel shy about asking.
I'll just jump in, since building better leadership. That's hard to say, Ryan. But to plug that program, I attended last month, and it was really great to hear from district managers and executive directors across the state, and just how they got to the positions that they were in. I'm not sure that that was recorded or not, but just encouraging people, if they're looking for different opportunities at their districts, to hear from the people who have been there and done that a little bit. And I forget what the next topic is going to be, but yeah, very interesting to kind of sit and sort of be the fly on the wall, listening to people talk about how their conservation district careers pathway went. I thought that was great.
Yeah, the next topic is employee retention. So kind of talking about ways to retain employees, and what can be done in our government world.
Maybe I would be useful if there was everybody raise their hand on which side of the state they're on. Because
That
we're
would be
always
useful,
looking
yeah.
for more folks on the east side of the state to participate. I mean, we have a very large state, but maybe if you can use the raise your hand function, if you're on the west side of the state. 2, 3, okay. So we'll put those down, I think. And then now, if you're on the east side of the state, would you raise your hand?
Awesome.
Okay. It looks like half and half, but it's not really half and half. But yeah, it's important to have folks from both sides. Thanks for writing that in the chat, Joe. To know where everyone's coming from, because we have different needs. I mean, the climate's affecting us all differently, but the west side's becoming more like the east side all the time. So we can all talk to one another and trade resources, etc. So thanks.
I was going to also ask to add to that, not just geographical boundaries, but size boundaries of our districts. Although I'm a West Side district, I am the primary planner and I am a small district. And so I understand the challenges that small districts face. Who here is in a, staff of less than 5? Anybody? Okay, Dave. I think, Dave, haven't we met? I feel like we've met. Your name sounds familiar. How about those of you? Oh, Dave, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, we've met. We worked on, it was a fire. I want to say it was fire recovery.
Yeah, a couple years back. I
way
remember
back
that.
when. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are a small district. There's 2 of us, and we have benefited from CTD, and
Wonderful.
mostly I was just checking to see about the forestry certification and also the procurement. Those are also things that we need. So
Okay, good to know.
appreciate all you guys do. Thanks.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate you coming on and doing all your work. It's a large area to serve, Berry County. I love your area.
And procurement is a topic, and maybe it was in the spring, Jan, is that right, when that's coming up? Because contracting and procurement has become a bigger issue for us, especially with federal contracting, it seems, to make sure that we're going, using the right steps and working through that. And so we keep hearing that. So I think it is coming. So again, it's the reminder that when information comes to CTD, then we can find the resources, the connection points to get the training out to the CD staff.
And I guess with that being said, I didn't quite fully finish the size scale. Is anybody here in a staff of 5 to 15 staff? Okay. Yeah. So kind of that it's like a push point there where it's like you're doing many different, I mean, we all do different jobs, even if you're in a bigger district, you're a CD staff person. But that medium-sized district, you guys have that push point where you're expected to do a lot with a few staff. So I'm sure you're playing many different roles there. I feel like these networking forums and the mentorship program Stephanie is building up, will connect you and help you feel supported in your work beyond your own sphere of influence at your district and service area. And just to make sure we're all included here, anyone 15 or 16 plus with staff, Lorna and Bobby. I should have a cap on there, but I genuinely don't know how many is the largest. Cool. Thank you, guys. All right, any lingering thoughts? Again, please fill out our survey. I know it's just another survey, right? No, it really does make an impact when you share this with us. And if you've done it in the past as well, we appreciate that because that has influenced a lot of the learning and opportunities we've offered in the last couple of years. So we try to do these kind of feedback once a year, but obviously you can reach out to us anytime if something comes to mind in terms of a need that you have. But this is by far the most direct way to get your voice heard, and we appreciate you. Jan, Ryan, you guys have any closing words?
Let Jan go first.
Well, I was just going to make just one more plug for, please just send an email if you have questions, or definitely on the training standpoint, that's where I come in heavily. But just even if you are wondering who in the state has technical knowledge on something that you're working on, and you just, hey, do you have any names of people I could ask about X, Y, and Z? Just that kind of stuff too. Happy to help try to make those connections for everybody. So don't hesitate to get in touch. That's my parting comment. Ryan, I'll let you close us out.
Yeah, I'll echo that. Yeah, I think what we kind of unofficially called it is the help desk. Is if you just have questions about expertise or looking for somebody who knows something, that's really the importance of the database. And as well as, a lot of us, between all of us on the leadership team, we know a lot of folks and can help kind of make those connections. Because we tend to show up on statewide stuff, or we can figure out who to ask. So I guess I'll just close, since it seems like there's not many. If there's no more questions, I guess really want to appreciate everybody taking the time this morning. I know it seems like everything is happening in October. Like there's a million grant applications and implementation and all kinds of stuff going on right now, trying to get some things in, especially on the east side before it starts snowing. So I appreciate you all taking an hour out of your time to listen to our update. But again, feel free to reach out to any of us if you have questions or thoughts or suggestions. on work we could be doing or the work we have done. Also just love feedback on, I really like this type of, content or whatever. So info at wactd.org will get to any of us basically. So with that, I think we'll probably close it down. Again, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.